Hi Year 4! Welcome back to today's Slor Lesson, reading from Beasts of Olympus, Beast Keeper by Lucy Coates. Today we're going to be reading the next part of chapter 1 and you're going to be answering some inference questions. So just like I suggested yesterday, it might be a good idea to get the questions up in front of you so you know the kind of thing you're going to be looking for when we read through this passage. So far in the story we have met Demon, whose real name is Pandemonius, and his father Pan, who we don't know too much about other than the fact that he is a god and that he is the ruler of forests and all wild creatures. So let's get into the next part of the story. About 2 minutes later, a confused demon found himself in the corner of the hut that he shared with his mother. As he packed his few possessions into a bundle, he could see his dad whispering in his mum's ear. When she'd seen Demon and his father walk in together, she dropped her best herb chopping knife on the hard dirt floor. It had nearly cut off her big toe. Now she kept saying, but, in a high-pitched voice. She sounded like Demon's little black lamb Barley did when he wanted some milk. She might as well have kept quiet. Pan stamped over her butts like a charging centaur. "Pandemonius is coming with me," he said at last, "and that's final. You don't want to offend the gods by refusing to let him go, do you?" There was nothing much Demon's mum could say to that, really. Mortals who offended the gods usually ended up as little piles of scorched ash or as trees or rocks. In the end, Pan dragged Demon forcibly out of the door with nothing more than a quick goodbye kiss and hug from his mum. A weeping Caris was left behind, waving a damp hanky. Demon felt like crying too. His mum was his whole family. He felt a fat, bumpy lump swelling bigger and bigger in his throat until he nearly couldn't breathe. He didn't dare ask where he was being taken or what for. Even if he had dared, he didn't know what to call his father anyway. Your godness? Your holiness? Your dadness? Until a few moments ago, he'd been an ordinary 11-year-old boy living with his mum near an ordinary village in the middle of Arcadia. He spent his days looking after the goats and sheep and chickens and hoeing the vegetables. Admittedly, the fact that he could talk to animals was out of the ordinary, but everyone around his home knew he was the child of a god, and things like that happened to half-god kids. No one took much notice, really, except for the local farmers calling him in when their beasts were sick. Demon could ask the animals what was wrong, and his mum could say what herbs to prescribe for them. All the farmers got used to hearing Demon tell them that a sheep was saying, "My belly hurts," instead of just "bah." Now he was being wrenched away suddenly from everything he knew by a father he didn't even know how to talk to. When they got to the edge of the forest, Pan stopped. "Iris!" the god bellowed. "Express for 2! Olympus bound!" Demon felt his fat, bumpy throat lump get bigger still. Olympus? Why was he being taken up to Mount Olympus? Wasn't that the huge mountain where all the gods lived in shiny palaces in the sky? What were they going to do to him? A horrid thought hit his brain like a speeding arrow. He couldn't remember if the gods still liked human sacrifices or not. Perhaps that was what he was wanted for. Only, why had he packed all his stuff if they were just going to kill him? It wasn't like Zeus was going to want his spare cloak, was it? And that's where we're going to stop reading for today. So your first question is, how do you know that Demon's mum was shocked by what Pan had asked for? So if you skip back in the video to the first part that I started reading, then you should find something that she did that shows that she was shocked about what she'd just been told. The second question is, how is Demon feeling, or how do you think Demon is feeling about what is happening to him? And it's important that you use the text to support your answer in this question. So we've done a lot of practice in this in our Slor lessons in the past, but you want to word your answer like something like, "I think Demon is feeling blah blah blah," because in the text it says, and there's quite a lot about what it says is happening to Demon's body, in his throat is a bit of a clue, and that you can use that to support your answer there as well. Third question is, do you think that Demon was happy with his life in Arcadia, why and why not. So again, you need to skip back to what we've already read, use the text to support your answer, because it does tell you about what his life was like in Arcadia, about the type of things he used to get up to. So it's up to you to decide whether you think he was happy, and then explain why you think he was happy or why you don't think he was happy. So that is all for today's lesson. As always, we look forward to seeing your work that you might send through. You can get in touch with us on the Year 4 email address or on the individual class email addresses. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's lesson. Bye!